Okay, this is count 4 under the first set of counts under RICO 1961, section 4. I do want to point out an interesting curiosity. 8 people came to the jurisdiction video that I first posted, but then only one person showed up for the nature of the case, and then the third one, which was count 1, was skipped, and then count 2 has one viewer, and then I uploaded 3 just barely, so very curious. So it appears that the 8 are not continuing with the rest of the case. Very interesting. Okay, count number 4. The defendant has withheld its Freemasonry connections before, and I all cap that, 1842, and before, again all caps, the founding of the original organization in 1830. This withholding also includes information about which lodge the founding Smith family belonged and which lodge those of Brigham Young belonged. Evidence shows the Smiths were Masons of the Yorkite lodges, as Joseph Smith Sr. was elevated to the rank of Master Mason. Evidence shows Brigham Young's group were Scottish Rites Masons, as Heber C. Kimball, grandfather of the defendant's CEO Spencer W. Kimball, was also a Master Mason. The defendant has failed to inform me upon receiving my temple initiation rites in 1989 that I was now a part of the Scottish Rites Lodge version of Brigham Young and not the York Rites Lodge of the Smiths. The difference of the lodges involves differences of understanding and interpretation of codes and symbols. Significance of this information involves the national security threat incident involving the arrest and disappearance of Captain William Morgan of the York Rites in 1826. More to be brought up about this and other counts. And so this is important. Mormons are forced to wear magic underwear with the Freemasonic square and compass on our breasts, over our breasts. And we are not informed that it's Freemason. And we are not informed that it's of the Scottish Rites that Brigham was a part of. Brigham, as I've done my church history series, I've pointed out that Brigham was never became a member because his older brothers were members, and you can't be in the same lodge as a family member. That's why Joseph Smith Jr. is not on record as being a member, because his older brother Hiram got the lodge right there at their homeland, so that they had no money to buy another carriage for every family member, and so it needed to be within walking distance. And Smith Sr. Got the carriage, so he was able to travel, and so he traveled south to where his lodge is. And I mentioned that in the nature of the case, where his lodge was, and his connection to William Morgan. Because William Morgan was arrested in Joseph Smith's jurisdiction as the Master Mason of that district. And that's crucial in understanding church history and how it applies to American history in the founding of the Mormon Church and the coming forth of the Book of Mormon, and their desire to build temples, because that's what the Masons referred to their lodges, and they were temples. It was after the anti-Mason movement that temples became called cultural halls. And so that's why Mormon churches have cultural halls, as they are called, rather than the gym. Because they weren't intended to be for sporting events, they were supposed to be for social events. It was, I think it was Thomas Monson who had pull to begin putting basketball courts in all of the churches. I think that's him, if I understand correctly, if I remember correctly. Unless that's the Mormon myth, but I'm pretty sure it's him who began that. And so that was like decades ago. And so that's part of our ritual. We go through the temple, we're told to wear this underwear, and that the marks on it are religious and not Freemason. We're just lied to the whole way through. Everything is a lie, and the connection to Freemasonry involves the national security threat that we are now facing in this nation, and was warned about in the Book of Mormon.